Hello YouTube, my name is Tyler. I'm in my car, which is a weird place for this to be recorded. I just finished Babel. I just recorded my thoughts and feelings for my January wrap-up, but I have some book stuff I need to take care of today. So I have some holds that are ready for me at the library, so I'm gonna go to the library and pick up those. I'm also gonna go to my local indie bookshop and see if they have a copy of Babel, because I read it digitally through my library and I want my own copy. I loved it so much. So hopefully that will be in stock. It says it's not in stock online, but it is Tuesday, and so I'm hoping maybe it has been restocked. I haven't checked online again today, but it had been out of stock this weekend, so I'm hoping that it will be in stock. If it's not, I have a gift card. I will put in an order for it, but I thought I would take you along with me. I don't actually know how much recording I'm going to do in these places, just because I'm very awkward and uncomfortable. However, I'll do a little haul at the end of this video because I also have some books I got in the mail yesterday. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Whew. I definitely need to start bringing a tote bag or something with me to the library, because I always end up leaving with at least 4 books. There is never a time where I only leave with like 1 or 2 books. I always leave with a huge ass stack. The first time I had to use a basket inside because I had to pick up 2 holds, and the holds are not self-serve like at my old library, so I had to talk to someone. So I did my lap around the top level of the library and ended up with 2 books, and then I had 2 holds, and so I asked for my holds and he checked out all my books. And then I went downstairs because that's where the fiction section is, and there was 1 book specifically that I was wanting to see if they had, and they did. And then I was looking for something else which they didn't have, but in that same section where I was looking, I saw another book that had been on my TBR for a while. It's something I'm uncertain of whether I will like or not, so I figured it didn't hurt to just go ahead and check it out, and if I don't like it, it will be an easy DNF to return to the library. So I'm not going to go through these books now. When I get home, I'll do my little book haul. So it's off to the library. Nope, I just left the library. It's off to the bookstore, and hopefully I can find a copy of Babel. Fingers crossed. I did also look for The Poppy War while I was here, but the copy that is at my library is checked out. So I'll check back the next time I go to the library, I guess. Anyways, let's go to the bookstore. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I was going to record. The library seemed like the most likely place I would be able to record. However, it's crazy busy in there today. I guess it's 12:30, so everyone's like trying to get it in on their lunch break, maybe, question mark. I don't know. Usually it's not that busy. Like, I'm always surprised at how many people are actually there, but it's never like people are everywhere. Unless it's like after school, after work vibes. But anyways, I was thinking when I went downstairs I would be able to record some of the shelves there, because usually it's pretty empty and quiet down there. But nope, there were people everywhere, so sorry, you don't get any B-roll. Anyways, bookstore now, for real. I decided to get lunch. I left later than I had anticipated today, so I grabbed Hardee's because it's between the library and the bookstore. Woo, these fries are hot. I don't know, ever since I moved back to Virginia, it's been all about the Hardee's, because the McDonald's in town is like not the greatest, and it's kind of far from the house, but Hardee's is good. You know, don't got a Jack in the Box in the South, so that was like my favorite fast food in Colorado. Anyways, so I got my chicken tenders because they're fucking delicious. I'm gonna eat those. I'm gonna listen to an audiobook. Currently listening to I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, which I own a physical copy, but I wanted an audiobook to listen to while I was working on Babbel, but I ended up not having as much time to listen to an audiobook as I thought. And I really wanted something that was on my TBR, and I was struggling to find something that I was like in the mood for. So this ended up kind of fitting the like memoir-ish ground I was looking for. I had a lot of nonfiction, but most of it seemed just too heavy to also be reading alongside Babbel at the same time. I was looking for something light and I just couldn't find it. Anyways, so I chose this because it's memoir-y, which tends to work a little bit better for me. Anyways, so I'm gonna listen to that. I'm gonna eat my chicken tenders, and then I'm gonna go to the bookstore. All right, see ya. Hello, I have made it home. I'm going to talk about the books that I have acquired today. I think I'm going to start with the library books first, and then I'll talk about the books I have bought today and arrived yesterday. So let's start with why I went to the library in the first place. So I had 2 books on hold. Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. Okay, I know Grady Hendrix is very popular. I don't know what it is about Grady Hendrix that is very off-putting to me. I know nothing about him, but there's just something about what I have heard just in the culture that has made me resistant to picking up and trying any of his books. However, this one is like, it takes place in a IKEA-like store, I believe, and it's like a interesting format. And since my buddy read this month in January fell apart, we were supposed to read A Marriage Plot. We're trying to aim for like a buddy read, me and my best friend, a buddy read once a quarter. So since this month's ended up being a DNF, we decided to try this. She read, what was My Best Friend's Exorcism, I think, and really liked it and wanted to read this. And I was like, this is the one that I am like most interested in by Grady Hendrix. I saw Lauren over at Paperback Empire, I believe. She talked about this a couple months ago. And I considered it until I realized that it was by Grady Hendrix, and I was like, oh, I don't know. Like I said, I really haven't heard like bad things about him, but there's just something that has like, I just can't explain it. I can't explain it. There's like no logical reason why I'm resistant to reading his stuff. So anyways, she wants to read this. This is the one I'm like most interested in already if I was gonna try. So this seems like the best way to attempt to read a Grady Hendrix book. So Horror Store. The other hold was Death in Her Hands by Otessa Moshfegh. I really liked My Year of Rest and Relaxation. Kayla read this sometime in the last year and really liked this, and the way she talked about it, it sounded interesting to me. The same friend that I was talking about, I should like see if she's okay with me saying her name. I've just been calling her my friend the whole time. I should see if she's like okay with me naming her, or if she wants an alias or something. Anyways, that same friend didn't like My Year of Rest and Relaxation, and then read Eileen for like a book challenge that she is doing and hated it and was sending me quotes from that to me that are also like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I feel like I'm a little more open to Miss Otessa, so I thought I'd give this a try because Kayla gave it a good review and it sounded intriguing to me. Maybe I wouldn't like Eileen, but this seems promising. Okay, so then the other library books I got were just on a whim picks. Well, not totally on a whim. Let's go with on a whim first, though. You Just Need to Lose Weight and 19 Other Myths About Fat People by Aubrey Gordon. Okay, so in my Jeffuary vlog, I talked about the podcast I listened to, Dismantling diet culture, anti-fatness, called Maintenance Phase, and she is one of the co-hosts. And this book just came out, and I was just looking at the new book shelf at the library, and it was right there. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't looking for it. I had no plans of reading it, but it was right in front of me. It's not that big of a book, and I'm intrigued. I have not read much about like anti-fat bias or anything. Like, I haven't read her first book, anything like that, really. I just get my information from her podcast, Maintenance Phase, but I expect this to be a good read. I have no reason to expect it not to be a good read, so I look forward to reading that. Another 2 on the whim books. What Moves the Dead by T. King Fisher. I have seen a lot of people talk about this in the last couple of months. So I've seen people talking about it, and I feel like it's been kind of divisive. I feel like people have really liked it or really not liked it. And it's intrigued me, but I could never really get a read on it of whether it was something I did or didn't want to read. So it's never been put on my TBR, but since it was like right there in front of my face, I thought I would pick it up, give it a go, especially because it's not very long at all. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And then the last on the whim one I found was The Night Eaters. This is the first book in a volume, a new graphic novel horror trilogy from the creative team behind the New York Times best-selling Monstrous, Marjorie Liu and Sana Tadika. I don't know. It's like about Chinese American twins, and then they like go next door to help clean out a house or something, and some weird stuff happens. I don't know. I just saw it on the shelf. I thought it looked pretty. I did come to the library with the hopes of picking this up. Cantoras by Carolina de Robertis. This is a book that's on my TBR. I think I saw it like recommended. I was looking for stuff similar to Swimming in the Dark, which was like a historic fiction taking place in communist Poland, and 2 boys fall in love at like a workers camp thing. And I was kind of looking for something along those lines, and I believe this is along those lines. I think it's like a little queer, a little historic, a little stuff. A new novel about 5 wildly different women who, in the midst of the Uruguayan dictatorship, find one another as lovers, friends, and ultimately family. When I was looking through my TBR for stuff that might fit the comfort theme for the unread shelf, this seemed like maybe a good option. So I did go to the library with this in mind, but it was on the shelves at my physical library. I didn't need to put it on hold because it wasn't at a different library like those previous books. So this was on the agenda when I went to the library. This, however, was not on the agenda. Among other things, I've taken up smoking. This has been on my TBR forever. I was looking for a different book that was on my TBR, which wasn't on the shelves, but this was on the exact shelf I was looking on, and I decided just to go ahead and pick it up since it was right there in front of my face, and I didn't see a reason not to pick it up. This is one of the things that like intrigued me, but I'm not really sure if I'm gonna like it or not. So like, it's very possible this will be a very quick DNF, but it will get it off my TBR. So yeah. So those were the library books I picked up. Let's talk about books I have acquired. While at the bookstore, I bought a copy of A People's History of the United States. I actually own an older edition of this, but have not read it, particularly because I think it's 2 editions out of date. I bought it at the Friends of the Library sale for just like 50 cents or something. And I just haven't been able to get myself to read it because I know it's out of date. It's up to the 90s, I want to say. So like, it doesn't touch on the war on terror, 9/11, anything like that, which I feel like that's like information I would want to know and hear from this perspective, if that makes sense. So this was there, it was available. I decided just to buy it. I guess, I don't know what I'm going to do with the old edition. I don't know if I'll keep it or drop it off at the free little library or something. I'm not sure, but I'll read this at some point. While at the bookstore, I also put a copy of Babel on order. They were still sold out, unfortunately, so I don't have a beautiful copy to show. But they already had an order in to like restock their shelves. And so she put my name on the list to put a copy aside when they get there, and then I will have my own copy. So those are the books that I bought today. Yesterday I got some book mail, and so I'll talk about those last two books. So one of the things that my husband bought me, because it was surprise book mail, was Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. Okay, I have been looking for a copy of this since I read it 2 years ago, I think. The art in this was just so wonderful. I read it digitally. I wanted a physical copy like immediately. I loved it so much. It is some creepy short stories, but it's a graphic novel. 5 mysterious, spine-tingling stories follow journeys into and out of the eerie abyss. Come take a walk in the woods and see what awaits you there. I have not been able to find a copy of it. My husband was going to buy me a copy for Christmas, not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before, and like no dice. So apparently he found this in stock somewhere and bought it for me. I'm really excited to add this to my regular read rotation. I read this at Halloween 2 years ago, and I expect I will read it again on Halloween's for the rest of eternity. I'm so happy, excited to have this. The cover is textured. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so happy to have this. So that's like going on the TBR. I've read it already, but I will be reading it again this year. And then the other thing he bought me was 2120, which is something I have not heard of. And he read about it in some forums that he's a part of, and he thought it seemed like something I would be interested in, because I like weird stuff. Welcome to 2120 McMillan Drive. You're Wade Duffy, a 46-year-old computer repairman. You're here today to fix a computer. When the door locks behind you, you're trapped. Use the yellow prompts on each page to explore the endless hallways and find a way out. I'm looking forward to working with you. So it seems kind of like a escape the room in a book. I'm not sure. I literally have never seen, heard nothing about this book, but it does intrigue me. So I think I might do some sort of like reading vlog with that. What's his face? Jack Edwards did a vlog trying to solve the Kane's Jawbone book. He did not finish it. It's been almost a year. I literally checked yesterday to see if he ever posted part 2 of that series, and he did not. So I don't know. I think I might try and do something a la that, in that vein. Try to solve this in a vlog or something. So obviously there would be tons of spoilers in there, but I think it would be fun. Anyways, that is a very large book haul. You know, some will go on my shelves, some will be read, some will be returned to the library without finishing. Anyways, so thanks for watching, listening to me ramble about some books that I acquired in various forms. I will see y'all next week with, I believe, my January wrap-up. So, I will see y'all later. Bye!